Joseph, hello.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
You are very down.
All right. Let me try to remove my. Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's better.
All right.
Yeah, so you can hear me too, huh?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Good. That's
Okay.
nice. It's not easy.
Hey, hey. Thank you that
Technology,
you
human.
are.
Pena ivutepo.
Yes.
Choncho.
But how are you?
Far much better today,
Okay.
especially now in the morning it was terrible.
Oh, so
Yeah. You are my brother. Now,
I know, but you're going to get better.
I am on quarantine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm under house arrest by the doctor.
Okay.
So I don't know whether it's uh, self-imposed or not, but it is a house arrest anyway, because I'm supposed to be at home, not moving too much.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So today, I wanted to touch base so we can cover a few more things. So after today, I would like that we meet again tomorrow on Zoom. I don't know what time will be best for you tomorrow.
We'll make arrangement on that as the session is going to an end. I'll give you a feedback.
Okay. Since you are a
Yes.
religious man, I suppose that in the morning you'll be at church.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, if you will not be at church, then I would have said 10 o'clock. But if you be at church, then maybe I propose something around 2. I don't know how your program is like tomorrow.
Yeah, I think by the end of this session, I will tell you that whether 10 o'clock or 2 o'clock.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. Now, the topic that we wanted to cover today is about the power of a consumer.
Okay.
Buyer. Remember, the perfect market has got many buyers and many sellers as one of the conditions, as one of the conditions for a perfect market is that you have many buyers and then many suppliers. So the demand curve has got is controlled or determined by the factors of demand, but as we know, it's sloping downwards from the left to the right. So that's the demand curve. And then the supply curve is sloping from the left to the right upwards. So that where they meet is where they cross each other. That's the equilibrium price, and that's where you get the equilibrium quantities. Now, in a perfect market, a perfect competition market, you have many producers many customers. So the supply is a collection of many buyers and suppliers or producers. And then on the demand side is the same thing, many buyers. So no one is able to control prices. That's what we have learned so far. Now, some people believe that the signals for the suppliers on which the suppliers make decisions about how much, when, where, in terms of production decisions or supply decisions. Yes. These suppliers or producers make decisions on what to supply based on the signals they get from the customers, based on the signals they get from the consumers. So some people believe that it's the consumers that drive what is produced, how much is produced, in what quantities, when, where, all those. Some people believe that the consumer has a lot of power. The customer has got a lot of power that he or she influences or controls what the producer will produce and in what quantity. Now, they call this consumer sovereignty, meaning the consumer has got the power. So the concept of consumer sovereignty in economics is about this power that the consumer has, this power that the customer has on what is supplied in the market. The producers or suppliers decide on what to supply, what quantities, when, based on what, on the signals. Now, some people say that these signals are conveyed to you as a producer or a supplier through your voting. So you seem to be voting whenever you go and purchase something. So for example, your purchasing is a vote. So for example, when you go to ShopRite, then you have, let's say, many types of soap, bathing soap in ShopRite, or many types of matches, or many types of, I don't know, maybe lotions, many types of, you know, meat products, okay, many types of bread spreads. You know, we can keep on mentioning a lot of things that come in different types, colors, and flavors, and the like. So, for example, if we take the issue of bathing soap, so you go in there, you choose Protex of a different type, Protex as a bathing soap. You choose this flavor, or no, I don't think that we call it flavor. What do we call the scent? Yes. Or smell or whatever. So when you pick something, so let's say, give an example of soap. Protex comes in various types of Protex soap. So when you buy, when you go to the till, that type of soap will get a tick. Whenever they click on that machine, it goes. and then another one comes in, goes. So by the end of the day, you can actually tally these votes for a particular type of soap. So now the shopkeepers or the owner of that shop will know which type of Protex goes fast. And so he orders more of that. So you can imagine that, this is happening in every shop, in every supermarket. So they are also ordering the things that are running fast. So the manufacturer is now receiving a lot of these orders of this particular type of soap versus another type of soap. So you find that the manufacturer of Protex soap now is getting signals of what the consumers want, what the consumers prefer. So now the resources will be moved from this type of soap, which is maronda, into this soap, which is being, so the consumer is actually informing the producer what they prefer or what they want.
It was recording. I think it has just stopped. Yes.
Sorry?
I'm saying you were recording, so I don't know whether you have stopped the recording.
I think it's recording again. Let me click again. Let me see. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that's what some people believe. Some people believe that the consumer has got a lot of power in the economy in terms of what is produced and what is supplied in the market. So it's what we call consumer sovereignty, the concept of consumer sovereignty, and that you as a consumer makes some decisions. Let me go through one of the things that I think I already shared with you, one of these small document on consumer sovereignty. Where have I gone now? Are you able to see my screen?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes, not yet. Yeah, now I'm able to see it.
You are able to see now?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is about consumer sovereignty being an important part of the economy, because it ensures that consumers are able to make their own choices. Now, this is sometimes debatable. Is it true that consumers have that kind of power? So consumer power is dependent on their spending, on their voting, their casting the vote, your purchasing power. So whatever you buy more is what is being produced. So the signals are coming from your spending habits or spending patterns on what you spend your money on. The same thing if you don't spend your money on something, it means you are saying, I don't need this. So therefore, the manufacturer will not produce because they are not selling. There are no sales. So what's the point of continuing to produce something that is not selling? So if your spending is growing, you expect that the manufacturing of those products that you are spending money on will also be growing. So the consumer spending can either help to grow the economy or can actually retard the growth of the economy. And that's why some people think that consumer sovereignty is very important. Consumer spending is very important. So the idea is that consumers influence production decisions, and that is called consumer sovereignty. So consumers vote, effectively vote for goods that they want with your spending power. So the producers respond to your preferences. They will start producing things that are in demand. This demand is reflected by your purchasing behavior. But some people think that this is just a myth. That it sounds nice to say that consumers have that kind of power. But, you know, some people believe it's not true. So therefore, this issue now is drawn to a debate. So now there is a debate whether it is indeed true that consumers do influence what is produced, that consumer preferences, choices determine what is being produced. There are people who contradict this kind of thinking for a number of reasons. So technology, for example. Technology is one example where we cannot say that consumers have got power. Sometimes you buy things because they are the things that the technology allows to be produced. So if you would prefer, for example, a phone that doesn't require you touching, so I can just tell the phone and say, hey, can you call Joseph? Just talk to the phone and say, can I have Joseph, please? That technology is not there now. So we cannot have a phone where you just command by voice and it goes. So what we buy is what is there at the moment. So the technology that is there is what makes us buy what we want or what is available in the market. So the availability is limited, and we get limited by the availability of the choices we can make. So even though we make choices within what is already available, we cannot make choices outside of those choices which are available. So we actually do not have a lot of power, as some people believe, that we can influence what companies produce. We can only have power to choose within the band or the width of the products that companies can make. That's number one, why some people think consumer sovereignty, this thing that consumers have got power, is just a myth. It's just a talk. Okay. Number two, some people believe that companies can influence what you buy, not necessarily what you prefer or want. So some people believe that some companies will advertise something so repeatedly to the extent that you start believing that something is good for you, and you start voting for it. So it's basically like politicians. Somebody comes and tries to sell themselves to the extent that you start believing that they are capable and people who can deliver. So advertising, sometimes, for example, let's take the example of the soap we were talking about. Some soap, they will advertise that, oh, it kills 99.9999% of germs.
Yes.
And because they tell us so many times, we start believing. Even if it were not true, we start believing that, oh, soap is better than this one. So you start buying just because advertising has bombarded your mind. And for example, even for soap, which I also like to use, soap basically just is just to clean your body, right? But sometimes people will, just because they like using imperial leather, for example, and they cannot find imperial leather where they are staying, they will move around town to find imperial leather. And you wonder why? Because soap is soap, right? You go to the bathroom, use Protex or use Lux, you come out clean. It's not imperial leather which makes you come out clean from your bathroom. Okay? But because of the advertising, maybe, or exposure that you had, you start believing that. So for example, even ladies, there are certain oils they will use to the hair. They use to their hair, and they start believing that, oh, in any sisiranga lima yanjana ndi oil iyi, this other one, no. Sisiranga nikachapira this chemical, it is sisiranga lima tuluka bwino. So it's not because you choose based on rational decisions, not rational decisions. You choose just because of marketing gimmicks and things like that. So to say that a consumer has power on his or her own is not necessarily correct. So companies can successfully market their new products, for example, or new generation of iPhones or whatever. So you find that a new product becomes adopted not based on anything, but because the company that has come up with this new product has been able to market it, to advertise and promote it to the extent that it starts influencing your purchasing behavior. So your spending, your voting goes to that phone for no good reason other than that the promotion was heavy. Another thing that people say that no, consumer sovereignty is just a myth. Based on this issue that there are certain products, there's certain information which is not freely available. Okay. So for example, sometimes you consume a particular drug just because the doctor has prescribed it to you. I'm sure you have gone to see a doctor one time, and
Yes.
find that the doctor says, I have given you painkillers. The type of painkiller that they will prescribe there is not out of your own choice. And yet you go to pharmacy, kukagura painkiller yamene yanene doctor yuja. And why he chose that painkiller against another, you have no idea. So information, even though we say in a perfect market, perfect competition market, information is freely available to everybody. Sometimes we have a problem of what we call asymmetric information, meaning that some participants have more information than another person. So you have asymmetry information. So the doctor knows more about the drugs than you. So even though, so you are voting there on what drug to take is not in your hands. It's in the hands of the doctor, not you as a consumer, because you are the one who will swallow those pills. And yet you are swallowing something which you didn't choose on your own. Another thing is government restrictions. So sometimes you may want to drink alcohol that makes you drunk quickly. The idea of, I don't know, don't hold me on what I'm about to say. It's not because I have no idea why people drink alcohol. But I suppose that people drink alcohol because they want to get drunk. Okay?
Yes.
So you also, you would think that they choose what to drink to get drunk. So they also vote so that those people who are manufacturing miowa will know kuti mowa undumene umayenda maronda uyai. But remember, sometimes you may want some drinks that make you drunk faster, but maybe they have some health problems to it, and the government starts restricting it, sometimes even banning it. So even though it is your first choice, let's say kachasu, it is your first choice, but because there are restrictions, it's not available to you. So even though you would have voted that more kachasu should be available in the market, it can't be. You as a consumer wants that to be, and therefore your power to want it to be supplied will be limited. Your sovereignty will be limited because of a government restriction. So sometimes these government restrictions are outright restrictions like banning. Sometimes these restrictions are in form of taxes. So they will impose a huge tax on a product which the government wants to restrict. Okay? So government restrictions can also be a problem. And therefore, this concept of consumer sovereignty gets defeated because of government interventions. So there are many. If I think this particular document is available on in those notes that I shared, just check for consumer sovereignty. You will see that there are a lot of reasons people have cited as restricting the power of you as a consumer. You may actually have not as much power as you think. Consumer sovereignty is just a myth. So there are issues such as, for example, architectural designs. Sometimes you just buy a plan and say, okay, on recommendation. So a house, you wanted to build a house, and architectures know best about how certain rooms should be arranged. Even if you wanted your rooms to be in a certain way, the architect will advise you, oh no, rooms are supposed to be like this, like that, and you'll be lucky if you can alter completely what the architect is probably trying to sell to you. And sometimes the issue that a lot of people choose something just because they want to choose a safe choice. Okay? You choose something because you have used it before and it was safe. So some people will say, I've never tried this before. How is it? So for example, maybe it can be a food product. You say, it is in Nadiepoich. And therefore, you want to play safe. You want just to be safe. So you choose something not because you want it, but because you want to play safe. You don't want to find yourself losing or being adversely affected by consuming something that you are not sure of. So it's what we call risk averse. You just avoid risks, not because of any other reason, apart from just the fear of a bad effect, for example.
Yes.
Yeah. Internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's some internet issues are not responding. But anyway, we have about 5 minutes before our 40 minutes go away. You know, these Zoom trials, unlike the paid up Zoom, as you know.
Okay.
Yeah, when you buy, you can deliver, you can speak for as long as you want. But when you are using these trial options, each session is supposed to be 40 minutes. So if you want to continue, log in again. out and in and out like that. So let me just close this one.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure, please.
On exchange rate, sorry, we'll go back.
Yeah.
I came across the different calculation or formula used when calculating Japanese yen. Yes, it's different from other currencies.
Yeah.
When you are going into, for example, you are going into another country, a European country, you want to exchange US dollar against the euro. You divide the your US dollar divide by the particular exchanging rate of that day.
Yeah.
While when going to Japan with the US dollar, you need to do a multiplication. Yeah, it's more or less like it's just opposite, the whole opposite of how we are supposed to calculate the exchange
Yeah.
rate.
It
I wanted to understand why Japan is quite different
yeah,
from other
it
countries.
depends on how they present it. How the Japanese present the relationship between their money and the other countries.
Okay.
So if you say Marai Kwacha versus a dollar is 1 to 3, versus you say it's 1/3. So 1 to 3 and 1/3 may look like the same thing. Okay? But when you want to find the answers, the other one you have to divide, the other one you have to multiply. Yeah, so it depends on how it is presented.
Okay.
And
I think tomorrow I will need the clarification on restricted currencies. I want a clarification on that, restricted currencies.
Okay. No, we can go over those tomorrow and see where we can be on one page. So I'll take note of the fact that you wanted us to look again at some of those exchange rate examples. So we can quickly go over those before we go into another topic.
Okay.
Yeah. Before we get logged out,
thank you so
maybe you can respond to me on in WhatsApp.
Okay.
What time we can have the meeting tomorrow?
All right. 10. Let's do it at 10 o'clock.
10 is fine.
Yes.
Okay. So today we'll make it short like this, and then tomorrow we will have a longer session.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So for today, good night.
Good night as well, and wishing you blessed night, sir.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Good night.